What's up everyone, Rob here from Mishimoto. Today we're going to install our oil cooler kit on your 2016 Plus Camaro SS. Let's get started. Tools recommended for installation include a strap wrench, 7mm shallow, swivel and deep sockets, 10mm shallow and deep sockets, T15 Torx, 1/4-inch drive extensions, 1/4-inch drive ratchet, 22, 27 and 1-inch sockets, 1/2-inch drive ratchet, a torque wrench, a 10mm wrench, -10 AN wrench, flathead screwdriver, panel tool, needle nose pliers, pop clip pliers, and masking tape. Installation time is 3 to 4 hours. Installation difficulty is a 3 out of 5.
Installing an oil cooler adds additional maintenance to vehicle ownership. All oil line connections should be regularly checked for leaks and retorqued. The oil filter center bolt adapter must be retorqued every time the oil filter is removed. Remove the 2 pop clips that secure the upper edge of the front bumper. Remove the 6 screws that secure the upper edge of the front bumper. Do not remove the screws that secure the black plastic alignment tabs. Remove the 5 screws that secure the air diverter to the driver's side of the vehicle and remove the air diverter. Repeat this process on the passenger side. Remove the 8 screws that secure the lower edge of the front bumper. Remove the 4 screws and 6 bolts that secure the splash panel to the underside of the vehicle. Then remove the splash panel. Here I've removed the wheel for easy access to the fender liner and bumper hardware, but it's possible to take the bumper off without removing the wheels. Remove the 7 screws and 1 pop clip that secure the driver's side fender liner to the vehicle. Unseat the liner from the fender and pull it back to expose the front of the wheel well. Release the 2 tree clips that secure the lighting harness to the vehicle. Then release the harness connector from the body and disconnect it. To release this connector, slide the red lock tab out of the connector and depress the black tab. Remove the 2 screws that secure the bumper to the fender and loosen the inner screw. Remove the 4 screws that secure the bumper to the front edge of the fender. Pull the upper corner of the bumper away from the fender to release it from the vehicle. Remove the 7 screws and 1 pop clip that secure the passenger side fender liner to the vehicle. Unseat the liner from the fender and pull it back to expose the front of the wheel well. Remove the 2 screws that secure the bumper to the fender and loosen the inner screw. Remove the 4 screws that secure the bumper to the front edge of the fender. Pull the upper corner of the bumper away from the fender to release it from the vehicle. Lift the top edge of the bumper to free it from the alignment tabs. Remove the front bumper by sliding it forward off the nose of the vehicle. Install the brackets to the Mishimoto oil cooler. Locate the large bracket with the threaded insert in your kit. Attach this bracket to the passenger side of the oil cooler with the provided hardware, but do not fully tighten it yet. Locate the angled bracket in your kit. Attach this bracket to the driver's side of the oil cooler with the provided hardware, but do not fully tighten it yet. Locate the horn assembly on the crash bar and separate the wiring harness from the stud that secures it. Then remove the stud. Locate the small bracket with the threaded insert in your kit. Lift the horn assembly off of the crash bar and install the bracket in its place. Orient the bracket so the threaded insert faces towards the passenger side and secure it with the stud you just removed. Then reattach the wiring harness to the stud. Place the horn assembly on top of the bracket you just installed and secure it with the provided hardware. Remove the bolt that secures the bottom of the driver's side support strut. Slip the Mishimoto cooler and attach brackets under the crash bar while tilting it up to clear the AC condenser. Align the angled bracket with the support strut and thread in the bolt that originally held the strut. Align the other bracket with the hole in the crash bar and secure it with the provided bolt and washer. Remove the 2 pop clips that secure the air diverter to the ducting. Align the last bracket in your kit with the holes in the air diverter and reinstall the pop clips to secure it. Then attach the cooler to the bracket with the provided hardware. Now that all of the brackets are attached, go back and tighten the bolts. Insert a small funnel into one of the oil cooler ports. Slowly fill the oil cooler with GM-approved engine oil until you can see oil rising from the other fitting. This cooler holds less than a quart, so take your time and don't overfill it. Disconnect the wiring harness from the mass airflow sensor. To release this connector, slide the red lock tab out of the connector and depress the black tab. Disconnect the CCV hose from the intake. Depress the gray tab to release the fitting. Compress the clamp that secures the sound generator hose to the intake and separate the hose. Loosen the clamp that secures the intake hose to the throttle body and separate the hose from the throttle body. Unlock the clip that secures the sound generator hose to the airbox and lift the hose out of the clip. Remove the airbox and intake hose from the vehicle by lifting the airbox upward. The airbox is held in by pegs and grommets. Remove the bolts that secure the radiator stays to the vehicle and then remove the radiator stays. Place a drain bucket underneath the vehicle and remove the oil filter. Then wipe the oil filter mating surface with a clean rag. Locate the sandwich plate and center bolt adapter in your kit. Lubricate the gasket on the sandwich plate with fresh oil and slip the female end of the adapter through the other side of the plate. Install the sandwich plate to the oil filter pedestal and secure it with the center bolt adapter. When properly installed, the threaded ports on the sandwich plate should face away from the engine. Using a torque wrench, tighten the center bolt adapter to 30 foot-pounds. Locate the straight fitting in your kit and install it to the port on the sandwich plate that is closest to the front of the vehicle. Torque this fitting to between 15 and 25 foot-pounds. Locate the banjo fitting in your kit and thread it into the other port on the sandwich plate, but do not fully tighten it yet. Locate the oil line in your kit with the 2 90-degree fittings. Gently push back on the radiator and lead one end of this hose between the radiator and radiator support. Locate the oil line in your kit with the 45-degree fitting. Lead this end past the radiator alongside the first hose. Locate the 45-degree AN fitting in your kit and install it to the driver's side fitting on the oil cooler. The threaded end on this fitting should face towards the center of the vehicle. Pull the hose with the 45-degree fitting past the radiator so you have some length to work with, and lead it around the support strut to install it on the passenger side fitting of the oil cooler. Lead the other hose in a similar way and install it to the 45-degree fitting that you previously installed on the driver's side of the oil cooler. Locate the free end of the oil line that is attached to the driver's side of the oil cooler. Pass this line underneath the AC line, down between the frame rail and the steering column. From underneath the vehicle, lead this line so it passes in front of the engine mount. Attach this line to the straight fitting on the sandwich plate and tighten it. Lead the other oil line alongside the first. However, this line will pass on the other side of the engine mount, towards the rear of the vehicle. Attach this line to the banjo fitting on the sandwich plate. Adjust the orientation of the banjo fitting to provide maximum clearance between the steering shaft and the oil line. Then tighten the banjo bolt and the oil line fitting. Locate the heat wrap in your kit. Be sure to wear gloves when handling this material, as it contains fiberglass which can irritate your skin. Install the heat wrap around the lower oil line, then pull back the adhesive strip and squeeze it together. Slide the heat wrap down the hose to protect it from the boot on the steering column. Reinstall the radiator stays and secure them with the original hardware. Now reinstall the oil filter. Reinstall the airbox and intake tube. Lower the airbox into place and press it down to engage the mounting pegs. Secure the sound generator tube with the clip on the airbox. Reattach the CCV hose and install the intake hose over the throttle body. Squeeze the clamp on the sound generator hose and install the hose over the port on the intake tube. Tighten the clamp that secures the intake tube to the throttle body. Check the level of the engine oil and top it off as needed. Start the engine and allow it to idle for a few seconds. Then shut off the engine and check the oil level once more. Start the engine and allow it to warm up to operating temperature. While the vehicle is warming up, inspect all of the oil line connections, the sandwich plate and the oil filter for leaks. If oil is leaking from any of the connections, shut the engine off. Loosen the leaking connection and retorque it. Once the vehicle is fully warmed up, shut off the engine and check the oil once more. Apply masking tape to the edge of the fender to protect the paint while you reinstall the bumper. Reinstall the front bumper. Align the pins on the bumper with the holes in the fender as you slide the bumper over the nose of the vehicle. Lift the top edge of the bumper over the alignment tabs. Install the 8 screws that secure the bumper to the front edge of the fender. There are 4 screws on each side. Check the fender gap on both sides and then remove the masking tape. If the bumper retention clip came out of the fender during disassembly, simply hook it back into the fender and thread in the screw to retain it. Install the screws that secure the bumper to the bottom of the fenders. There are 3 screws on each side. Reconnect the lighting harness. Lock the connector with the red tab and secure it to the vehicle with the integrated tree clips. Push the fender liners back into place and make sure the edges are fully seated behind the ducting. Then secure both liners with the original hardware. Install the splash panel to the underside of the vehicle and secure it with the original hardware. Install both of the air diverters to the vehicle and secure them with the original hardware. If you forgot which side is which, look on the underside of the diverters. The driver's side will be marked LH and the passenger side will be marked RH. Install the 4 screws that secure the splash panel to the fender liner. Install the 8 screws that secure the front edge of the bumper. If you removed the wheels for this install, reinstall them now. Install the pop clips that secure the upper edge of the front bumper. Install the 6 screws that secure the upper edge of the bumper.
Now that you have the cooler installed, take a moment to double check your work. Top off the oil and allow the vehicle to warm up to operating temperature while inspecting every connection for leaks. Once you're sure everything is properly sealed, double check the oil level and take your Camaro for a test drive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out.